Sovereignty no go. How me do you? Me finish your novel. Me TV and you bro. Oh don't be. Sovereignty no you. Na be press out.
I welcome you back to our main topic for this morning. This is Gold Coast Daybreak, and we are live from our studios here in number 16 Pieta Street here in Highfield, Centurion, if you will, and here in South Africa. My name is Kennedy Asari Sechi. If you're doing the watching on Facebook, we are live across the country and around the world. If you want to contribute to the show, you can please call these numbers or send a message to our WhatsApp number 08468963372 or 0611376141. If you are calling outside or sending us a message outside the parameters of South Africa, please do so by prefixing your numbers with +27. And I will definitely do the reading for you. Now, this morning we'll be looking at the Electoral Commission, who has taken a decision to finally compile the voters' register. Jane Mensah and her two deputies. I don't know whether to say it is the Yentiobia syndrome, but the new patriotic party in power says they support the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has actually given us many reasons why they think Ghana needs a new voters register. I'll be speaking to a data specialist very soon to give us his thoughts on that. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has issued a statement, and we'll be delving into that statement very soon. Jude Announcen is a data specialist in Ghana. Mr. Announcen, if you can hear me, very good morning to you, and welcome to Gold Coast Daybreak.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm actually practicing my profession in South Africa, not in Ghana, but I visited Ghana, so I'm currently in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's worth it. Quite hearing. Quickly, let me just find out from you. Are you also, before we come to the main issue, are you also of the view that it is not necessary for Ghana to have a new voters register?
Well, like I've always had a point that in data, historical data is the most important data that any country can have. You understand? If you have a historical data, that will be the basics to be as a fraud proof for any new data that you gather. So already, it's not important, it's not necessary, it's not relevant, because already you have a system which already has worked. It is the same system that brought the president to power. One thing that you guys should understand is data is independent of any system. It's independent of any system upgrade. It's independent of any database. So for instance, they say the systems are obsolete. It's fine. They can replace them. They can buy new systems, right? The Electoral Commission can choose to upgrade the existing systems. They can buy the new systems or whatever they want to do. But after buying the new systems, you don't need to replace the data. You can just migrate the data from the old system onto the new system. So the Electoral Commission do not even have the basis to actually back their claim that they need new systems. That is why they need to do new registration. It's never true. They can buy new systems, replace all their systems without touching the existing register. Now, why should they not touch the existing register? Because there is no fraud proof in the new registration that they are going to do. Why? Because it's going to be the same process that they use in capturing the existing register. That is the same process. So what is the point of doing new registration? There is no point. You already have an electoral register which is working. So why do you replace it if it is not broken? If, for instance, the National Identification Authority system that they have done, which used birth and death registration as the base for the registration of the national identity of the citizens in Ghana, then that will be much accurate. We can say it is an improved database because you are able to ascertain the identity of a Ghanaian. So building your electoral register on that database will be the most important database that will be much credible than the existing one. But now, how do the Electoral Commission itself measure the registration they want to do currently, with the old one? There is no benchmarking until they are able to provide a benchmarking to say that the data that we are going to capture with the new registration is going to be better than the old one. There is it is not relevant. It's not important. They need not to even touch it because it's a working system. If you do the new registration, what if you don't succeed? What will happen? You understand? So they should separate the system functionality from the data and the software. There are three things here that we're talking about. They're talking about the systems are old. You can replace the hardware, those systems, you can replace them. They're talking about we need to upgrade the database. The database, you can upgrade it or you can buy new database, whether it is Oracle or Microsoft. The data which is stored on the Oracle system or the Microsoft database system, which is Microsoft SQL database, is independent on whether you store it on Microsoft database or you store it on Oracle. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
I am, Jude.
So the biometric information of people you have captured over the years that you have used for your elections, so many successful elections. You use in voting in 2016. It was a success. You use in a referendum. It was a success. You use in the assembly elections. It was a success. If the hardware components of the biometric verification systems are broken, replace them. But you don't need to replace the register. It doesn't make sense. You understand? For instance, when your bank is even doing system upgrades on your account, do they capture your account again?
No, not at all.
Do they?
No.
They don't. So they're not making sense. They're not. And one thing I would say is they should just put aside the political influence they want to have on this whole thing. They should put politics aside and they should put Ghana at the forefront. When you go to the hospital, your data is captured. Do they always recapture your data, your date of birth, your registration again? You go to get your card to see the doctor. They don't do recapturing all the time, but you never know the kind of systems they've been using. Most of them get obsolete, they upgrade, they copy the data back onto it, and it functions. So there is nothing, data is data. It doesn't need any particular system to run effectively.
Jude,
you can upgrade it, you can downgrade.
Jude, are you also saying that even though it is in the constitutional right of the EC, as and when they want to change after consultation, broader consultation with all political parties and all stakeholders, the EC still has no right to go ahead and do that, even if they have the mandate to do so?
Well, the EC could have a mandate from the law perspective, but as a data specialist, right, I believe in historical data and historical information. And I believe any historical information that you have used over the years, which is a success, you build upon it. You capture new entrants into the system, but you don't replace a complete system which is functioning. Are you getting it? So if they are talking about in the law perspective, they might think it is very relevant for us to do. But I'm telling you from from I'm telling you from an expert point of view that it doesn't make sense. They should consult wider. See, not every IT person is a data person.
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Not every IT person is a data person. The system National Identifications Authority is building should be the most accurate system that can have the accurate data, if let's not say 90% of accuracy. That is the only system probably I will support that the Electoral Commission should use to replace the existing register. Otherwise, if you have this existing register functioning, what do you have to do? Even if they say they want to capture they want to use they want to use facial recognition, right?
Yes, I was actually going to talk about
if
that.
they want to use facial recognition, you already have people's information on the system. You can still capture the facial recognition and link it, which will be much easier than doing the whole process again from scratch. Are you okay? The biometric data of human beings do not change. So why change it? What are you capturing? You are duplicating work. Are you getting it?
So you think it's
and
needless?
The timing is needless. It's useless actually. If they cannot do it,
useless might
if
be
they
a strong
cannot
word.
do it.
If you want to use needless, that would be more
See,
acceptable.
from the data, like I said, they talked about system upgrade. What is the
So I don't want to.
No. I think during the press conference they elaborated.
They think that the data or what they have currently has been compromised, and so they need a change. And of course, to add the new features, as discussed, the eye contact, the facial recognition, etc., so that they wouldn't disenfranchise others who would not have their bios on the system.
But it's the same data they use for successful elections. So if that data has been compromised, they have not been able to explain much further how has it been compromised. Because even it cannot be compromised. You understand? Even if they say some of our systems were hacked, it can still not be compromised. Biometric data cannot be compromised, especially if you are using it in voting. It can never be compromised. There is no single individual that can take the identity, the biometric identity of another person to vote. To me, it will save Ghana a lot of money. It is needless. That money they should use they should use such money to develop Ghana, because most of the roads are bad.
Now you are talking like a Ghanaian, not a data analyst.
Yes. Most of the roads are bad. Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm in Ghana currently. Most of the roads are bad. We still have a lot of problems in Ghana, infrastructure wise. See, do you know the kind of disease that kills a lot of people in Ghana?
Tell me, malaria?
Do you know malaria? No.
Tell me, what is it?
Air pollution. Air pollution. Google air pollution from the UN. Air pollution. Air pollution kills more people in Ghana than malaria and HIV combined. Google, you find out. But many people don't know, because malaria is the most commonest disease, so we think it's malaria. And the problem with air pollution is because our environment is polluted. Most of it is dust. The development that we need to get it. There's so many ways we can get money. So if they have money to do an electoral register, I think it is not relevant at this time. We have a lot of issues.
All right, Jude.
If they are doing the register from the NIA system, thumbs up. I support it 100%. But I will not support an exercise again that will siphon money from the taxpayers to do a needless system which will be changed in some few months to come. What is the point of doing the new registration when the NIA system is supposed to be completed this year?
Sorry, Jude, what did you say?
What is the rush?
Okay, all right. So
what is the relevance of doing a new register when the NIA system is supposed to be completed middle of this year?
Well,
what is going to happen? Millions of cities after the elections of doing the registration, that register will be overwritten again with the NIA system. So aren't we going to save money if we continue with the old one, capture the data that we want and link it to the old data, which is much easier to do? It's much easier to do. If they cannot do the migration, I can offer my full services for them for free.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, I can offer my full services for them for free. If they cannot do it, I can help them. This is nothing. You don't need magicians. You don't need any high level technicalities and all those gimmicks they use. You don't need that. You don't need that to do those kind of migration. You don't need that. They themselves, I'm sure they don't even get it well. That is why I said it's not every IT person that understands data.
Okay. I think
you understand.
This is what time will allow us. I think we'll have to wrap it up.
Okay.
But I'm sure the Electoral Commission have heard you, and you should find your ways to their office and speak to them and offer your service for free. Thank you very much, Jude.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So that was Jude Analson, a data specialist who actually studied here in South Africa, but currently practicing in Ghana. Well, he feels it is needless to put together or compile a new voters register. I don't know what your thoughts are, but if you do have some thoughts to share with us, please do so to these numbers: 08468963372 or 0611376141. Or you can leave a message on our Facebook page and I'll do the reading for you. We'll be speaking to the other two political parties in Ghana, and I'm referring to NPP, that's the ruling government, and the NDC, the largest opposition party. Well, let me just go on the line and speak to Mr. Ankuma. Ankuma is the Deputy Secretary of Boase West constituency of the National Democratic Congress. Mr. Ankuma, if you can hear me, good morning and welcome to Gold Coast Daybreak.
Good morning and thank you for giving me this platform to speak on your radio this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ankuma, once again. Why is the NDC opposing the new voters register compilation by the Electoral Commission?
Yeah, before I proceed, let me greet all your listeners this morning and wish everybody well. The issue is the new voters register that is being opposed. It is Ghanaians and major opposition parties that are opposing the new register. It is not only the NDC. So if you could follow the news, you will hear that we have formed the inter-party resistance against the new voters register. Inter-party. So we have the PNC, we have the CPP, we have the PPP. They are all opposing the new voters register. So it is not only the NDC. And what we are saying is, at this point in the country's democratic dispensation. You see, the EC has the mandate, as fulfilled by the Constitution, to, as it were, conduct or do a new voters register. But the power of the EC lies within the people.
Yeah.
As the Constitution says, the sovereignty of Ghana lies within the people. So the people are opposing the new voters register, saying it is needless, saying we are going to spend a lot of money on this new voters register, over 440 million on this new voters register, when people don't have beds to sleep on, when people don't have good roads, when people don't have access to potable water. That is what we are talking about as at now. To spend the whole sum of 440 million to conduct a new voters register, when this same register we are using it at now, the EC hasn't been able to prove to the whole public that the data is faulty or it has problems.
Well, the EC
we
actually,
just use,
sorry, Mr. Nkrumah, to cut you, but the EC has vehemently said and suggested that the data they have now has been compromised, and so they need a new one. And of course, they are bringing on new features vis-a-vis what is actually at hand at the moment.
My brother, if data has been compromised, how? They haven't been able to prove to us. This same data were used in the 2012 elections, which gave President Akufo-Addo over 1 million votes. He won by 1 million. This same register was used in the district assembly elections, and the same EC told us the register performed. It was able to verify over 99.6 persons, which means over 0.04 was not able to be verified. You understand? Yes. So if this register is faulty, how come we used it for district assembly elections? The EC made the country spend a whole amount of money to do limited voters registration. And do you know something? The most dangerous aspect is, in this country, this year we have to do the population and housing census.
Yes.
And the EC, as it were, has to pick data from the population and housing census, the Ghana Statistical Service, to know the number of people it has to register. Last year, when they were doing the voters the limited registration, we told them no. They targeted 400,000 new entrants, and we told them no. Go to the statistical service, pick information from them, and know how many 18 years you are going to register. They didn't do that. They sent the whole registration to their offices, and imagine a whole number of people queuing up, some sleeping over, just to get the voter's ID card. So Jemensa has made her mind that whatever she wants to do, she will do it without consulting. She formed the eminent advisory body herself, with people like Sheikh Sharabutu, Emma Short, and all those personalities on it. But before we could meet, you have brought a date that you are going to do the new voters registration, whether we like it or not. That is gross disrespect. We are telling her that Ghana is not from her, and she cannot send this country into chaos, because the peace we have enjoyed from our we are not going to distribute that. Sheikh Sharabutu. That is what we are telling her, and all those personalities on it. But for the new voters register, you have brought it doesn't hold. The civil society organizations have raised alarm. People are talking. It is not only the NDC. That is what we could remember. Jemensa herself in 2014, when she was at IEA, advised the then Aferijan of the Electoral Commission that conducting a new voters register in an election year is dangerous. So, principle, what has changed now? Why is she not ready to listen to anybody? The first thing she did was to issue a communique in IPAC's name, that the new voters register has been discussed extensively at IPAC and all parties have agreed. Meanwhile, it was false. She didn't discuss with IPAC. She just issued a communique in IPAC's name. And what that we are saying is, President Nana Akufo-Addo says he came to protect the public purse. My brother, this is a nice opportunity for him to prove to Ghanaians that indeed he came to protect the public purse. If the EC is telling us that he wants to add facial recognition, software can be upgraded anytime.
Yes.
And I don't see the reason why, if you have your phone gets spoiled and you change your phone, do you throw your SIM card away?
Not at all.
The data doesn't change. Data is data. You understand? And this same data we use for district assembly elections, nobody complained. It was successful. The EC came out, said it was very successful. This same data was going to be used for the referendum. That is the involvement of political parties in the district assembly elections, which was boycotted. This same register was going to be used. So why are we changing the register when we know that there is nothing wrong with the register? The EC is telling us the register is over bloated. My brother, I listened to Jude when he was making his submission. He said something very important, that the biometrics are unique. Your thumbprint since the day you were born till you die are very unique. So if people die, a ghost cannot come and be verified.
Yes.
Because you use your thumbprint. That is why you are verified. That is dead cannot come and be verified to vote. That is why we have the no verification, no vote.
Okay, so
you understand? So at this point,
Mr. Nkrumah, will the NDC and the other political parties, and I'm referring to the opposition parties, the now formed inter-party group that is going on
resistance against the
Are you still going to continue with your demonstrations? Because it looks as if the EC is playing the game. And it doesn't look like the EC will rescind its decision going ahead compiling the register.
We will continue with our demonstrations. We will let the whole world know. We will let the whole of Ghana know who J-Mensa really is. We will continue with our demonstrations. We will let them know that she's there to serve.
Mr. Nkrumah, if you say you want to let the whole world know who Jane Mensah is Jane Mensah is she not doing this? As in, when I say Jane Mensah, I'm referring to EC. She has two deputies, and so they do this in unison. She doesn't take her single decision to do all these things. So it's EC. Why don't you look at the EC as a body, but single out Jane Mensah?
Good. She is the leader of the Electoral Commission, and let me give you instances where she has acted in bad faith. She was appointed. The first IPAC meeting J-Mensa organized, she invited the NDC, the largest opposition party in Ghana, 45 minutes before time. That is number one. Number two, Dr. Bosman Asari, the EC vice chair, could open his mouth to say the NDC is a threat to Ghana's democracy. Number three, when Akufo-Addo invited his appointees for an NDFVA party, J-Mensa saw herself fit to attend the party as an appointee. As an appointee of Nana Akufo-Addo. She didn't see herself as neutral in anything. As an appointee, dining with the appointees of Nana Akufo-Addo, meaning she came to serve the purpose of the MPP. And by all means, she wants to do things that will favor the MPP. They said they will change logo. When they came, J-Mensa changed it for them. So what she's doing, she's towing the line of the MPP. She's in bed with the MPP. It is not the data that is incredible. It is not the biometric that is not credible. It is the EC that has lost credibility with Ghanaians. And the least she could do is to listen to the plight of innocent Ghanaians. We are going to spend, look at the dollar against the cedi. My brother, look at the dollar against the cedi. We are spending over $70 million. Why won't you put pressure on the cedi?
All right.
So that is what we are saying. That Jay Mensah has lost credibility. Whatever she's saying, what she's telling, we are going to continue with the demonstrations because she has no respect for the eminent advisory committee she herself set up. So we are going to continue with the demonstrations until something good comes out of it.
All right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akuma. I just want to remind you that anytime you guys are in South Africa, just visit our studios here. Let's have a one-on-one chat.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll do that.
And
We'll
enjoy
do
the
that.
rest
Thank
of
you
the
very
day.
much.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
This is Gold Coast Radio SA.
It's getting interesting. Against the new voters register compilation, we need to speak to a member of government and also hear his views. Thereafter, we'll be visiting the newsstands for the newspaper highlights.
This is Gold Coast Radio SA.
All right, let me just go on the line and speak to Mr. Ankumeni. He's the acting New Patriotic Party secretary. Mr. Ankumeni, which part of the country are you acting New Patriotic Party secretary? Which part of the country?
First of all, let me say good morning to you and your cherished listeners.
Yes.
I'm from the Ebokwa South constituency, which happens to be the president's constituency.
Fantastic.
And the capital is Chebi. So currently I'm at Chebi, Eastern region.
Okay. Is the MPP in bed with the Electoral Commission in the compilation of the new voters register?
My brother, we can never be in bed with the Electoral Commission because the Electoral Commission is an independent body. So how can a political party be in bed with the Electoral Commission? It's never going to be possible.
It looks
because they always act.
Go on.
They always act independently, so you can never say that.
It looks as if you are the only political party in Ghana that supports what the EC is currently or want to do.
No, that is factually incorrect. You are not the only political party who is in support of the EC. I think CBP and other political parties too are also in support of what the EC is currently doing.
I don't think so, because if you say the CPP and the PNC and the rest, there is an inter-party resistance against the new voters register, of which the CPP is part of. So if you say you are not the only political party, then I don't know where to stand, because they
But you can do your checks very well. If you do your checks, you get to know that MPP is not the only political party who is in support of what the EC is doing.
Okay, so
and you can do that.
All right, so let's get this right. So is the NPP and the CPP currently in support of the new compilation of the voters register, and against the others?
Yeah, let me clarify this. The CPP. Some of the CPP executives are in support of it, whilst others are in support of what the NDC is doing currently. So that is how I should put it.
Okay, all right. So now tell me, why the need for a new compilation of the voters register?
First of all, before I proceed, let me say this. Whilst in 2016, while the New Patriotic Party we were campaigning, we were saying that the EC should compile a new register. So we have said this over and over again. It's not today that we are saying that the register is bloated, and then we have to change the register. Remember this group, Let My Vote Count Alliance,
yes,
which happens to be a pro-MPP group, advocating for a new voter register. And they heard a series of demonstrations in the capital city of Accra, of which, at the time, there were some brutalities meted against them by some of the Ghana policemen. So it's not today that we are asking that we should compile any voters register, and we are keeping that same stance. We don't want double standard. We said this previously, and we are saying it again. For any electoral commission to hold credible elections, there must be a credible voter register, a robust one, for crying out loud. So I don't know the reason why, or I don't see the reason why any Ghanaian who wants a better democracy should oppose to what the EC is doing currently.
Okay. Well, I have spoken to a data specialist, and then I've also spoken to your friends in the NDC, and both of them are saying that it is needless to put together a new voters register, looking at the amount involved, the cash involved, which could be channeled to other developmental issues in Ghana. What do you make of this?
Yeah, first of all, before I go, let me say this. If you go to chapter 7 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, it talks about the representation of the people. And let me read the 45A. It says the Electoral Commission shall have the following function. A, to compile the register of voters and revise it as such periods as may be determined by law. So we are talking law here. And the Electoral Commission says it took the decision to procure the new biometric voter management system on the advice of its IT team, an external consultant, to the effect that it will be prudent to acquire a new system rather than refurbish the current system. And besides, he said the current BVRs are end of life, and that means no components are available to repair items, including laptops. So if the NDC say that if your phone gets spoiled, you don't throw your chip away, you buy a new phone rather. It's neither here nor there. That argument is dead on arrival. Because in effect, what the EC is saying is that the amount of money spent on refurbishing parts and renewing warranties could be used to acquire a brand new system that is robust, modern, and durable, user-friendly, with full functionality and warranties. So the argument I should say is dead on arrival. And what is the most shocking is that the stance that the NDC has taken is the most shocking, because you will recall that in 2016, that is 5th July exactly, the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who was speaking at the prayer ceremony at the Blaster Square to mark the end of the month of Ramadan, said, and I quote him, he says, "Let us give the EC the peace of mind to do its work. They have done it before, and indeed our Electoral Commission is one of the best commissions in the world, and we have confidence in them to be able to conduct elections. So let's leave them peacefully to conduct the elections."
This was when
so what I say now?
This was when sorry, Mr. Akumenin. This was when well, if you will, and I don't want to be partisan this morning. This was when Charlotte Osei was in power, or in the helms of affairs at the Electoral Commission. That was when
exactly.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said this. So
yes.
Do you think that it's because Janessa is in power now, that is why the NDC is speaking a different language?
Yes, that is absolutely, because you cannot eat your cake and have it. You are the same people who say that the Electoral Commission is an independent body and that we should lead them to do their own work. What the multi-million question that I'm asking this morning is that what has changed? What has changed? That today the Electoral Commission cannot do its work. And my brother, I'm very clear in my mind's eye that the EC will conduct a peaceful and credible elections on the 7th of December 2020. So nobody should panic over this. And talking about demonstrations, a series of demonstrations that they have heard across the country. They did one at Tamale and one in Kumasi, and they intend to do another one in the offices of the EC. Let me state this clear. We live in a democratic state, and I can say without fear of contradiction that Ghana is the number one when it comes to democracy in West Africa, if not the whole of Africa. So the citizens have the right to demonstrate if they think or see that something is not going on well. So nobody is in this country, including the president, can take that right away from them. But the bottom line is, we are talking about the compilation of a register that will be more robust and credible than what we have currently. So I don't know why anybody will oppose to the decision of the EC.
But Mr. Kumeni, before I let go of you, this was the same register that was used in the just ended assembly elections, and of course the by-elections at Ayawaso West Wuogon. What changed? I mean, if it wasn't credible, the EC couldn't have gone ahead to hold these elections.
can never be compared to a general elections. You understand what I'm saying?
Very
In as
well.
much as it's equally important, you cannot compare the two. We are talking about a general election, national assembly election. Usually, it's not partisan. It's not partisan in its nature. We are talking about a national election, general election, who will determine the leader of this country. So we cannot compare apple with oranges, my brother.
Okay. All right, Mr.
And
Akumeni.
and and, and let me quickly add this. I beg your pardon. Let me quickly
Go ahead.
add this. The previous administration, led by the former president John Mahama, used over 400 million Ghana cedis in 2016 to conduct the general election without a new voters register. While this current government, under His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has budgeted 350 Ghana cedis to compile a new voters register, which will be more credible and robust. And at the same money will be used in conducting the whole election. So you see that clearly this government is fully protecting the public first.
All right. Okay. I think Mr. Akumeni will end our interview here. And just to remind you that anytime when you are in South Africa, kindly pass to our studio. We want to have a one-on-one interview with you.
Okay, and I must say that I'm honored to be given this opportunity to speak with your radio station.
Thank you. Have a good day. Well, just gone by was Mr. Akumeni, the acting MPP General Secretary in Chebi. Well, he said that, well, it is not needless. It is in the power of the EC to actually put together a new voters register. I don't know what is running through your mind, but if your guess is as good as mine, please send me your thoughts and your views on our phone numbers and our WhatsApp line.
This is Gold Coast Radio S.
Please do so to 08468963372 or 0611376141. The Electoral Commission and its brouhaha against the political parties. Whether it is right to compile a new voters register or not. Madam Jane Mensah says that, well, on the 13th of April, they are going to the polls to conduct or compile a new voters register. We'll be taking a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be moving straight to Asemi Dika, my guest already seated. We're going to have a very interesting topic that concerns you, that concerns me, that concerns Ghana. A quick reminder that this program is proudly sponsored by Romance Express Fashion. For Romance Express Fashion, they design and fabrication of the best African traditional wears, casual and formal wears, ladies and gents suits, wedding gowns, and all alterations. Now they are located inside Office 12 Stantes Center, 154 Craddock Avenue in Littleton Manor, Centurion. If you have any cloth you want to sew, you want to design, just go there and they will just do justice to your cloth.
This is Gold Coast.
Or you can also reach them on 071-7314-043 and Romance Express Fashion. They are just there for your use. We are ably supported by African Brace Airport. They are also located in Sports Park 102 Niapia Road, Littleton Manor here in Centurion. They are committed to providing superior customer service, technical excellence, and offer all their clients a choice of quality hair and care products.
This is Gold Coast Radio SA.
Now, for African Brace Airport, they do braiding, bonding, haircuts, nails, manicure, pedicure, and highlighting. bridal and special occasions, special hairs, and other services, you can always contact African Braids Hair Port on 071 7314043. African Braids Hair Port, they do all.